and keep.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your cloud, it be raining out, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
I can't find a pen. Hi, guys.
I have my pen.
Oh, shitty.
I lost mine.
Oh, my pen's green.
I got pens. I got markers and crap. But we got Corey today. We're going to talk about some lovely topics about some messed up stuff the Florida wildlife decided to do. Oh, did I break our chat? Can people chat? Yeah, people can chat. I see. You guys are chat. Can chat. Okay. I thought I broke it. I have an error on there. Oh, I see. Twitch is giving me an error. Twitch. So Twitch, you people, if you can't watch me, I'm sorry. I don't know. Don't know. So, what's other than the Florida wildlife being stupid idiots? What's been going on?
Not too much.
Just waiting on eggs to hatch.
Eggs to hatch. I got eggs hatching.
Yeah.
I got some cool eggs hatching. Am I late again? No, Nikki, you're not late again. But we need to talk. I might have a gig for you. We need talk. Yeah, it just started because I'm always one late. But anyways, let's get talking about this stupid stuff. I mean, how we want to dive into this. How many was 32 snakes, 34 snakes, right? But it was
34, I think.
Yeah,
34.
32 babies.
So technically 60 something total. 68.
Yeah. I didn't know that they would actually kill on site. I didn't know that was a thing.
No one did.
And with a nail gun or what do they call the
nail punch type deal where you hit the top of it and it punches a nail through.
Ain't that the thing that they use to kill cattle though?
Yes.
Pigs. Yeah.
Yep.
So I tried to call FWC 2 days. It was 2 days after this happened. And I couldn't get through it all. But then 2 days after that, it was like a Tuesday. No, I tried to call Tuesday. It was a Thursday. I finally got a hold of somebody. It was a female. I said, I want to talk to somebody. It went on hold for 60 seconds, 30, maybe 75 seconds. Disconnected. I called back, talked to her, told her what I wanted to talk about. She hung up on me. I called back, and it was like a pick up, hang up. I swear to God, I was trying to get their side. I was going to say, hey, you guys want to, get your side out? I was going to actually record a conversation and play it on this episode.
Yeah.
And they didn't. They wanted nothing of that.
No comments, huh?
No comments.
Figures.
They've been instructed to not talk to anybody.
I mean, they were discussing who's going to kill what snake.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like it looked like it to me. They were having fun with it. So
The one uniformed officer was actually smiling and laughing.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we got him right here. Look, I mean, sitting right there.
Yeah. Now, how do they? Out of what was there, 4 of them there total?
There was 4 total, according to the USA Today article.
How are they not able? One of them, who are wildlife officers, not able to identify a boa?
Well, the owner of the boa is the owner of that facility, not the owner of the retics and the Burmese. And he warned them over almost a dozen times to stay away from that cage, and they just didn't listen to him.
Yeah, but they should have still been able to identify that it was a boa and not a retic or a Burmese.
These guys don't know what they're looking at. And you look at the fact that they had they had a call about a loose Burmese python nearby, and that's what brought them to this situation. But fear and people not knowing what they're looking at, it could have been a corn snake crossing a path.
Oh, absolutely.
And people said, "Oh, it's a big, huge snake." Next thing you know, assumptions get made.
And then I heard the owner talking that he said that they came in with paperwork because they tried to say he surrendered him over to be euthanized. But he said they were going to arrest him if he didn't sign the paper. So he had
Right,
no
with
choice.
72 counts, 2 counts per snake.
Yeah. So he signed the paper, and he didn't. I don't think he expected them to kill him right there on the spot either.
No.
It'd be like them coming in your house and doing your dog right in front of you. I mean, seriously.
Yep. It's not a fun situation at all.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, I still am a firm believer that the wild population of Burmese pythons wasn't from the pet trade.
It's not from the pet trade.
There might have been a few that got out from the pet trade, but the majority come over on shipping cargoes.
No.
Mind.
The majority that came from Hurricane Andrew destroying a breeding facility in Homestead, Florida in 1992.
Yeah, well, I knew that too, but
they lost 40,000 animals from that one facility, not just snakes, everything.
Yeah,
and it wasn't anyone releasing on purpose.
No,
because what I tried to tell, when I talked to Fish and Wildlife, 2 years ago, and they were trying to. It was before they were trying to make this all illegal, and I was like, these people don't want to lose their animals because it makes them money. It's an income. It's a taxable income. They're not releasing these animals in the wild, but everyone down there think they are.
No.
Well, the thing with the boa constrictor is the fact that it was a genetically modified morph that he had been working on for 10 years, and 32 snakes at the cost of what they were worth was going to feed his family for 2 years, plus put money back into his breeding programs.
Mm-hmm.
And Fish and Wildlife's going to get off on it. They're not going to pay him a nickel. I hope they do. There was a situation like this in Green Bay. We can take this off real quick. That a person was breeding rats. Breeding rats was illegal in the city of Green Bay. Okay, you're not allowed to breed rats on the level he was. But he had ball pythons, which are totally legal. And they took these ball pythons to the Humane Society and they adopted them out, gravid and all. And we're talking $1,000 morphs and $10,000 morphs for $25 a piece. He has not, still to this day, not recouped.
Wow.
Nothing. And this was years ago. And now I kind of sad because I could have been involved in it and got them animals, because I do get confiscated alligators. People know that. If you have something illegal in Green Bay, usually it comes to me. But I didn't want anything to do with that, and I stayed far away from it because of the legality of it. Ball pythons weren't illegal, but he lost every single. I mean, like beautiful, gravid ball pythons. Here, $25. Yeah. So I hope they can sue FWC, but I don't know what they're going to be able to do. I mean, they're going to deny.
The good thing is they were conscious enough to videotape it.
Yeah,
I'm happy for that. I mean, it sucks that it happened, but I'm happy for that.
But what I was saying with the, I know some of them came from that facility that during Hurricane Andrew, but some have, was all the way back in the 60s and 70s, they were finding them out in the wild, and they came over on cargo ships, just like they did in Guam with the brown snake over there, you know.
Yep. That's where the green iguanas came from in Florida.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got a lot of other animals that were either brought over from importers trying to skirt laws and skirt taxes, and making illegal breeding programs in the wild there.
Yeah.
That's how I get a lot of wild caught chameleons, because they brought them over in the 90s, in the 80s, and they would put them into a orange grove. And because a chameleon is slow and doesn't like to go to the ground, they don't travel far. No. So they would breed, go to the ground, bury their eggs, and go back up in the trees, and they would collect the babies every 9 months. So that's how they started doing that in South Florida. And a lot of those guys got caught, and now there's millions of chameleons all over the place.
Yeah, so Florida's kind of a messed up place.
But they also, when did they decide that they couldn't keep the stuff? I thought they were allowed to keep the stuff. They just couldn't breed it.
That's what the head of the FWC said, right? Am I correct? Is that who
in 2021 on their video?
Yeah,
and that's the last time he spoke about it.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a law saying they can't own them anymore? I tried to look, and the laws are like whacked.
There's so many different variations that I've tried to look for this week as well, and I can't make heads or tails of what Florida actually wants to do.
I mean, I hate that the animals were killed, but if there was a clear-cut law, I would say, okay, there was a clear-cut law, and he should have just gave them away by then. but there's no clear cut saying yes, this is the way it was going to happen. I just don't see it.
Right. I mean, I lived down there for 24 years. The place is crazy, and you can't tell the law enforcement down there what they're doing or what they're not. They're going to interpret the laws as they see fit at the time, and then when it comes down to it, a district attorney or a judge is going to either throw it out or prosecute on it.
Yeah, I mean that boa, and that what they're going to get on that boa, and that's how I think what they did at ball python guys proved that they were worth that much money.
Oh yeah.
So and they'll say prove it.
That's why he took it in for a necropsy. Did you see that?
Yeah, 32 baby. I mean, that's insanity. That's a lot of boa babies out of one snake.
Mm-hmm. There's a large snake too.
So it's not like it's unhealthy. It was like I don't see an unhealthy snake in the group when they were killing them.
Nope.
No.
And I mean, they were. I just don't get it. I honestly, and what they were doing, they weren't dying instantly either.
No.
So they were making them suffer. The boa was in the corner for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was curling up and writhing around.
I just don't understand why. I mean, everything should be public knowledge. We should be able to get them pictures because they took pictures and the body cam. We should be able to get all that.
I agree.
I mean, it's the government agency. We should be able to get all that. And I'm glad he set up a camera, but I'm looking at it. This video contains. Well, we can show it. We can actually show it for the people.
I am sure this individual got a lawyer right away. That's why he's not.
So this is 7 minutes and 30 seconds, guys. We're gonna just play it real quick.
Officers of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, or FWC, descended upon the facility of Bill McAdam in Palm Beach County, Florida, with the intent of killing pythons that they considered to be prohibited species, which were owned by Chris Coffey. Coffey had a large collection of both reticulated and Burmese pythons, which were possessed legally with a conditional species permit before FWC made that permit obsolete by passing prohibited species rules in 2021. Therefore, his animals should have been grandfathered in and exempt from the new regulations. In the process of killing Coffey's pythons, the officers misidentified and killed a pregnant female boa constrictor belonging to McAdam. Boa constrictors are legal to own in Florida and are among the most popular pet snakes. When it was all said and done, 35 snakes were dead, including the 10-year-old pet boa constrictor. This event has become known as the Holy Thursday Massacre. Warning, the images and language that follow are disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I've handled one python ever.
Okay. Do you want to practice one? Is he going to do that?
Yeah, he can do it. He don't need to practice.
Okay.
So we'll tell you. So
Do
there's
you lift this up?
no. You pull this as a
Oh,
safety,
you hold it.
and then you just smash like you hit down, and eventually it'll groove.
Boom.
Because it's
A
like a
bolt
shot.
comes out and comes back in.
So it shoots in and then it comes back into it. And
So-
you'll know.
The snake has the two eyes in front, and you see where the back of the jaws are, right? Where they stick out there. And X right between in there, and that's where you want to put it. Between
Okay.
the eyes and the back of the jaw.
X from the eyes, the back of the jaw.
Yeah. Put it right in the center and bang it. He said that's the docile one. Oh, I thought
No, he said this one's like his baby.
Oh. Chris, the one on the right?
The puppy, right?
Okay, so give me a hook.
Yeah, he said this one you can hook. Which here's one right here. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, hold on. So back up just a little bit.
Center it.
Just pull. It's a safety, and then you just kind of bang on the top.
Yeah.
Go here.
Yeah, you don't have to get it that hard, I think. No,
No, you're fine.
Your palm.
Disgusting.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Just wait a minute. Make sure that's it. You want that on this? Yeah.
Every snake over there today. From me. I made every one of the snakes a kill.
They are beautiful. It sucks. We're both on the same page. We don't mind killing something if it's suffering. But, yeah, it's part of the job.
What did you just say? I missed that.
He said he doesn't mind killing something if it's suffering, but he doesn't like doing this because they're not suffering. But
Okay,
it's just
I thought he
part of
was
the
talking
job.
about this. Implying these snakes were suffering.
Oh no!
Yeah, and then he says part of his job.
Yeah.
I'm coming in.
Now that this is the boa.
Unbelievable.
Now watch this guy in the blue. Realize he made a mistake. You'll notice it right there. He notices
Yep.
he made a mistake, and he's trying to pretend like he didn't notice it. Now he's gonna see. He knows. Now right here.
And then he goes like, "Oh well."
Yeah,
Them
that guy right there is like, oh well.
we can get them pictures too.
That guy there with the, with the tan shirt on. It's like, oh well.
We might need a new bag for these two. How full is that?
I think Florida's slowly turning into a communist country down there.
The bowl is dead. What? The bowl. The pregnant bowl. No. No. Oh my God, that guy's gonna fucking flip out. What is wrong with you guys?
Yeah.
You did it.
We're shaking this like. Is there a way to maybe save the babies?
Oh no, dude. This guy's gonna go bananas. Oh my God. Why?
It was a mistake.
How? I reminded you 10 times. Fuck! Fuck! You can't fix it. You can't fix it. What just happened?
It can get fixed.
You can't fix it.
They didn't know there was a camera there, did they?
It wasn't illegal.
Nope, they had no idea.
$100,000 worth of fucking babies.
I want to make sure the public's aware that if you currently own one of these reptiles, you're allowed to keep it till it's death. So no one's telling you you have to go get rid of your pet or euthanize it. No one's from the state's gonna take it away from you. So I think there's some misinformation out there, and I just want to clarify that for the people listening. If you currently own one of these reptiles, you're allowed to keep it. Till it's death.
Chairman, you clarified from many of the callers raising concerns about what they do about their pets. Their pets are their pets. They will continue to be their pets. And we made sure that it was very clear, and it's unfortunate that misinformation was allowed to penetrate out there, that it was otherwise, because it gets people emotional, and that gives me pause.
Please contact Governor DeSantis and tell him to hold leadership accountable.
What he didn't specify in there was that you
Killing.
can keep the animal till its death. They just didn't tell you that they were going to come and rush that along a little bit for you.
Yeah. And from what I understand, this was warrantless, and they coerced the guy into it with the list of charges.
Yep.
Because he called and asked for an extension, correct?
Right.
Yes.
And by what they said earlier, he didn't have to get rid of anything.
Nope.
Right.
Not one thing.
So it's this group of guys that in that one office that took this into their own hands because they wanted to charge somebody. And from what I understand and the way I see it, is they probably wanted to get themselves a little bit famous in the FWC for taking a whole load of snakes off the street.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if he can sue, I would sue. I mean, this is probably the best. I mean, it's sad to have the footage, but it's probably the best footage for him. I mean, it's clear as day. Yeah, your screen actually works now. Say like this. Oh, it did.
That's one of my partner's hauls from a weekend of catching chameleons down there in Florida.
Wow,
that's craziness.
There's over 270. There's over 270 in there.
So what do they do with those?
And that's just the babies. Right? We sell those babies wholesale to a lot of different distributors that sell them in pet stores. They're invasive. They were originally intended for that, so why not put them right back where they belong instead of killing them?
And I talked to some people down in Florida that actually has gone on python hunts, and they're telling me now it's harder to find them now than it was ever.
Well, they have them like once every couple of years, and it's usually around election time when some politician is trying to use fear-mongering to get votes, and then they send 1,700 hunters into the Everglades, and they're doing more damage traipsing around the Everglades than the animals do.
100%.
And the worst,
crazy.
The worst invasive they have down there that they won't admit are feral cats and feral pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Feral cats are terrible.
And they've been down there for 50 plus years.
Yeah, but they don't go out and kill those.
No, they don't.
Yeah, it's just I don't get it. I understand that it's the best way to get votes, and people don't understand what the snakes are and the reptiles are, but this was mind blowing to me. The last time I had to deal with something like this was the Green Bay thing with the ball pythons, but they didn't kill the ball pythons; they adopted them out at least.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I guarantee that there was a place for them pythons throughout America.
Oh, absolutely.
The problem was that guy was probably trying to sell them, which he was allowed. But if they said, "Hey, you got until this day to get rid of them now," for sure, he could have adopted them out. I guarantee someone would have took them.
Oh, yeah. If they're out for adoption and they're on a kill list, if they're not, someone's going to say, "Okay, I'll take one."
100%. And I wouldn't have told them who was nice and who was mean. I would have said they were all nice. That's what I would have said. They're all nice. Don't use a hook. I wouldn't even gave them my hooks.
No.
No, and for me, if they didn't have a warrant and they're walking into a warehouse full of animals, I would have said, "Nope. You go get a warrant that says you can do this."
And then I think about like my facility in Wrightstown, the police department actually loves me and protects me. If they see someone weird around, they call me. Hey, and I'm like, yeah. And then this, it makes it. Who do we trust? I'm still shocked by it. I'm like totally shocked by it. That video I've been watching because a lot of people are putting up YouTube videos about it, and I'm happy about that, getting the word out. But some of the comments on some of these videos are insane.
Well, that one video I posted by the news today, the comments were on there were horrendous. Because I get,
they're all posting only good snake is a dead snake and things like that.
Yeah. Wait till they're coming after people's goldfish. It's coming.
Yeah.
They already tried that once, so they're going to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know. I mean, HR 669. You can look up the history. I'm sure both of you guys know this. HR 669.
I remember it.
They were going after every pet: dogs, cats, hamsters, goldfish.
They didn't. PETA doesn't believe you should have any animals.
Yeah.
They don't.
I am mind blown by the people that just like, oh, it's okay. It's not going to hit me. HR 669 was everything.
Mm-hmm.
And how they worded it was, if it's not native, you can't own it. But most states have you cannot own native animals.
Exactly.
So it would have been gone.
It was a double-edged sword.
Because in Wisconsin, you can own, but you can't breed. But it's like one or two.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what you got to have the permit and stuff.
It's mostly unprotected natives.
Yeah. Like I got the Fish and Wildlife game. Fish and Wildlife came to me and wanted to know where I knew where my Massasaugas were because I have video of them. And I was like, I'm not telling you nothing. I ain't telling you nothing, man.
No. You know, like HR 669, they were talking about no nothing if it wasn't native, but people didn't realize that dogs aren't native,
Nope.
cats aren't native, goldfish
Nope.
aren't native, parakeets, all your birds, everything. No pets are native.
They're not.
And the reason that failed is because people got behind it.
Uh-huh.
So then they after HR 669, they went after feeders. You guys remember rats and mice and stuff like that? And they're like, we can get rid of those. And that's what Green Bay has. You can't breed feeders. You cannot breed mice and rats. And then De Pere right next door has you are not allowed to have any exotic animal. But you're allowed dog and cats, but no exotic animals. So people technically that have fish in De Pere are against the law. 100%.
Well, anybody who has those Egyptian Siamese cats, that's an exotic animal.
100%.
I know here in town, they were trying to pass a law that you couldn't have exotic animals or pets because they knew I had snakes. And Phil from US Art contacted them and sent them all this information. And they tried to fight it. But he told me when I go down there, gave me this whole points of just what to say and stuff. So when I went to the meeting, I was like, and I knew the lady in town here. She has a whole bunch of fish in her aquarium. I'm like, you can't have the fish because they wanted to pass a law. You can only have 3 pets or something like that because they know how many I had. And I'm like, you can't have fish. She's like, why? I'm like, you can have a big fish tank with only 3 fish in it because they're not a pet. I'm like, well, what are they then? And I fought on that, and I actually won. They canceled the whole thing. So
I'm telling you, it's Fish and Wildlife. It's going to start in Florida. It's going to work its way up.
Oh,
it will.
It'll start with the southern states, and
well, Ohio used to be one of the freest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you wanted a bear, you can go buy a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Now go try to even own a venomous snake.
Well, that one, what was it? That one zoo that had all those animals escape a couple years ago.
The lions and tigers and stuff. That guy.
Yeah.
And then the gentleman killed himself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a place in Holland, Ohio, right outside Toledo, had a buffalo get loose. It's just a little like zoo like I would own or Brian would own. And they had a buffalo get loose and they had to shoot it. And that came up there. And I'm like, well, who's going to own a buffalo? You know, you're really reaching there. It was an actual zoo animal.
We had a buffalo farm right up the street from me.
Buffalo burger's good stuff.
Yes, it is.
That's some good stuff. Wisconsin though is pretty free. But I don't wish there was laws. I wish that we took care of ourselves and we didn't sell gators and we didn't sell. I wish we took care of ourselves a little bit more.
Well, if we don't start regulating ourselves to a point, Big Brother will come in, and this is the type of stuff that goes on, is what we just witnessed when they decide.
Oh, you got those guys that are out there that show up at a reptile show and they're trying to get into the next best thing.
Yeah.
So they go and get something cool they shouldn't have, and next thing you know, it starts spiderwebbing everywhere.
Oh, 100%. I'm starting to see it with tarantulas of all things. Sorry, Nick. Tarantulas are getting bad.
Yeah.
I like stuff that can hurt me. And tarantulas are a way for me to have all my venomous again, okay? And I got sand spiders and all this, but I seen sand spiders go into tons of people. I was like, that's a nasty spider.
It's the most venomous spider in the world compared even, people have died from their bites.
I mean, widows aren't that bad. A widow's not going to kill anybody, but I mean, it shouldn't. I mean, if you have an allergic reaction.
It's just enough you sick.
Anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, and widows are pretty calm, but my sand spider attack anything and touch that sand. So I'm like, you touch it, I think it's biting you.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, other than that, the FWC. I'm gonna try to call again. I'm gonna try to do what I can. I am friends with people down in Florida that when I contacted them to see if they could get in touch, and they said there's no way. I tried to get, Tom Crutchfield is can't even get through. So I want to talk to Ty because I know Ty does have connections in the FWC.
But they make him get rid of a bunch of stuff though too.
Yes, a whole bunch of iguanas and stuff. Yeah. I mean, he's a freaking zoo. He's an accredited zoo.
I know a gentleman who works at Zoo Miami as well, who actually works with FWC on the snake hunt sometimes. So it's I couldn't even get a hold of him this week at all. He didn't answer any messages, probably because of this situation.
Yeah, because that's what I don't want to put Ty and Tom and all these people into into anything. I know Tom, if he found something out, he would tell everybody. He would. He would. I just don't know. I know my Fish and Game up here. I know 6 people. And the reason I work with them is because if confiscations happen, it don't hit the news. It just goes to me.
Yeah.
It just goes to me, and then I take care of it. I got a monocle cobra 7 months ago. The kid shouldn't have had the monocle cobra. He was terrified of it. It got loose in his room. We'll leave it at that. And I go there
trying to sleep in that room.
Well, they said, "Oh, it's a cobra," and I'm like, "Whatever," thinking it's gonna be a corn snake, and no, it's a monocle cobra. I was like, "Oh, it's a little death noodle." Oh, okay, cool. And but that never hit mainstream. It never hit. No one knew in Appleton. There was another situation that Madison Area Herp Society helped out with. I didn't even get the Cayman this time. There was a guy that had a bunch of stuff in his apartment, and it got confiscated, but the law enforcement worked with us and we housed it ourselves. It never went through the law enforcement. So there are good relationships. It's just this here, the guy tried to do the right thing and look what happened. And
we had a guy locally here who abandoned, it was that abandoned alligator that found a lake out in Oshkosh. And they didn't know where it came from, but a guy was actually in an apartment here and was forced out and left a whole bunch of stuff behind, including the animals. And he dumped the alligator over there. And
was it the 41 incher that JR got?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That was actually, he actually was keeping it in the closet on the floor.
I get people asking me for gators all the time, and people don't even know I get them. I get them and they're gone. I get them and they're gone. I got a connection. A couple other friends have connections. I have connections for sulcata tortoises and stuff like that. They go to farms. I hate when sulcatas get sold, because it puts us in situations like this. I don't know what can be done with the FWC. I honestly don't know what can be done. The government officials are hard to fight. They're just hard to fight. And who's going to stand up against them and have their collection down in Florida? I mean,
anyone in Florida is not going to say anything because they don't want them knocking on their door.
Yep, that's exactly it. They could come knock on my door. You want to see some geckos? Go see some geckos.
I got some cool chameleons they can take a look at.
Yeah. But at the same time, without a warrant, they were trespassing.
They were
100%. They could have been. I don't know if in Wisconsin they could have been shot.
Same here.
No matter what, they could have been shot. No matter what.
If the guy knew the rules and stood his ground and took the charges that they were going to falsely put on him, that's kind of like coercing a false confession out of somebody for doing something.
Yep. And how does he know? I mean, if someone's got you bullied, they bullied their way to kill them animals.
Yep.
Now, if I was a fishing game, I would have said, if this was me and the law was there, I would have said, hey, you need to get rid of these animals. We'll give you the extension, but we're going to put a plan in place to get these animals out of the state. If that's what that would have been more responsible. But to sit there and say, we're going to this, okay, here it is. We're going to go in and kill these animals and then mess up and act like it's not that big a deal. I mean, I don't know a lot about boa morphs, but I did see the doctor and what he was saying it was, and I've never heard of that morph. It doesn't mean it's not expensive, but
the guys on the original video that was on Nerd, said that there was it was like 6 different types of snake that were bred to one, and it was like $3,500 a snake.
That's well over $100,000. Well over $100,000.
It's over $100,000 worth of babies alone.
I don't know about anyone else. I couldn't take $100,000 hit. There's no way.
And that's why I posted online earlier today that some guys like, well, it's just a stupid boa constrictor, and I'm like, you realize that that was 2 years worth of income, plus money put back into a breeding programs and feeders and cages and proper housing.
That's a life-changing animal.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I've seen ball pythons that are worth $10,000-$20,000, but when you have a snake that's pregnant with a boatload of money inside of it, you know, that changes all of your planning.
In my opinion, the person that the FWC officer that planned this, and all the FWC officers there should lose their job. 100%. They should lose their job. This is, I mean, there was no law. I can't figure out the law. I'm not smart, but I mean, when I look at a law in Green Bay, in Wisconsin, I can figure it out. I mean, like, this is yes, this is no. That law, anyone out there, just go look up the laws in Florida. They leave so much room for whatever they want to put in there.
That's why they're open to interpretation. So when the officers are reading these laws off and deciding how they're going to plan their actions, oh, I see it going this way, so I'm going to do this. And if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I'm dumbfounded. I'm going to still keep going, and if I do get them to do a phone call, I will be recording. Because since I made the contact, Wisconsin has a one-person record. All I have to do is record because of me. So I can record it and I can publish it. And they're a government agency anyway, so it doesn't matter.
They're supposed to be transparent.
Yep. So if I was closer, I'd walk into the building. I would. I'd just walk into the building and say, "What's up?"
Do you see this comment, guys?
What's that?
What's that?
Yeah. Well, we don't know that for sure.
I wasn't going to talk about it, but I saw it posted earlier today on Discord that one of the officers could possibly be a subject that was on To Catch a Predator, the TV show. But no one has proven it yet. I haven't seen any proof anywhere.
Yeah, I don't want to go there and say, and it's not true. So that would be slander if it wasn't true. If it's true, then we can talk about it.
Right.
So I'm not totally sure. But what they did is wrong. I'll tell them right to their face. They should lose their job. They should never work in a government agency again, ever.
Why is there a USARK Florida and why isn't it part of the other?
It is. USARK Florida is part of USARK. It's another chapter.
It's a division.
Oh, just a division.
But Florida has such a big impact. They made their own chapter, a division for it. Fishwall has posts on Facebook.
Let's take a look.
I'm going there right now. Let's see what we got going. Oh, I'm sorry, my homie. You know what's up, homie? Well, I don't know if FWC banned me. I know they've been banning people, so my fish wildlife. We would like to.
Oh, it is.
Can you share the screen?
Yep, I'm gonna do it right now. Here we go. So right here, let's see. Last week, FWC officers and investigators euthanized a boa while complying with a captive wildlife facility owner's request to euthanize. Whoa, I guarantee he didn't say that.
No. That's what he was on talking today about.
There's no way. Relinquish invasive and unpermitted prohibited pythons in this facility. This mistake is being taken seriously. We are to examine the procedures to ensure the similar events this don't happen again. This week, one of our officers was arrested. The officer resigned prior to termination of FWC. We find these charges. Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Me personally, all of them should lose their job. Period.
Every one of them.
Did you open the link to that on that post? Yeah. There's that blue link.
Over here.
Yeah, there's more information on that.
Regarding a captive snake euthanasia Broward County facility. Let's see. The FWC is aware of the incident involving the euthanization of multiple snakes at the Broward County Captive Wildlife Facility on Thursday, April 6, 2023. Final report of this incident are currently in development. Let's see. We keep going. The same stuff. Reticulated pythons are non-native invasive. And is reticulated really invasive? Have they found a population and make it invasive?
No, they're totally Burmese, and that is it.
Yeah, I thought
not
Burmese.
even African rocks or nothing like that.
Because invasives have, if people don't know, when they say it's invasive, it has to have a certain population.
Right. What they're doing is they're fear-mongering large snakes is what they're doing.
Yep. Officers do not initiate contact with the facility owner with any intention of engaging, whatever.
It's the same difference. They have a restriction on green anacondas down there. There's no such population in the wild of green anacondas in Florida.
Or yellow.
Right. All they're doing is fear mongering large snakes that put fear in the eyes of voters.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was talking to another friend, and some people don't like the person. I'm not going to bring up his name, but I've known him for a long time. He's in Florida, and I asked him, I was like, "Are these invasive?" And he goes, "Dude, if you found a retic out in the wild, you'd be lucky. It'd be like hitting the lottery." Retics aren't as hardy as Burmese pythons. They're just not. Burmese pythons are potatoes. I mean, the cold, I think that I don't know, maybe the retics could. I don't think retics could handle the cold that they've been getting.
The Burmese pythons had a hard time with last year's cold snap as well. They were finding them dead all over the place.
So nature takes care of itself. I just don't understand. I don't get why they kill them. Some people are upset about the boa. I'm really upset about the boa, but all them snakes dying didn't need to happen. And this is what I say. I think we don't have to do what the government says. We can kick back. Is it going to hurt for a while? For sure. This is something we need to kick back on. We need to start taking back what's ours. Owning animals is not a right. We first got to get that through. It's not a right, but also they shouldn't be coming and killing our animals for no reason. I mean, it's just like coming and getting our guns. That's a right, and they're trying to do that. It's a right to own guns, and
right.
And they're trying to take that. Like, it was funny. I wasn't the only one fighting in Ohio when I was in Ohio, but once I left, then they banned. The ban started going through for the venomous and stuff. I'm not saying I could have stopped it, but I was one of the larger keepers of venomous in Ohio. I mean, at any given time, I had 300, 400, 500 venomous snakes at a time. And when I left, I had so many venomous snakes. Many went to Jim Harrison. But yeah, I mean, this is crazy. The boa and the pythons. Invasion. There's no boas down there. I guarantee there's no boas invasive. There's no way.
They found random. Maybe once every 10 years, they found a red-tailed boa or something like that loose in someone's neighborhood. Especially after Hurricane Ian, that one YouTube girl found that giant albino python in Naples.
Yeah, but like I said, it's a hurricane. It wasn't like living there for years.
No, it got out of its enclosure because the house was destroyed.
And that's just like, I mean, everyone's worried about these Burmese pythons and the cats.
Cats kill more stuff and do more damage than
cats
anything.
Destroy things, and I hate killing animals. I hate killing all animals. Most of the bugs that you see, what 20% are invasive? You say 20, 25%?
Yeah.
The bees, a lot of the bees are invasive. They are brought over here.
They have the love bugs in Florida that are actually created.
I didn't know that.
They actually the rumor has it was a mosquito eater that they were trying to design and breed out, and it failed. And now, like twice and 3 times a year, they breed, and it becomes like clouds of love bugs, and all they do is mate. And then when they get them on their paint of your car, it actually peels the paint off your car from the acidic body fluids.
Wow.
I do know that a lot of people up here, if you get rid of mosquitoes, it starts killing off other wildlife. So that's a big topic up here. They don't like you killing mosquitoes because baby frogs and turtles eat the larvae and all these things.
The whole chain of life.
And I always say this. I've said this to Andrew before. We're pests. If there's any invasive species, it's us.
Yeah, it's definitely us humans.
I am just like dumbfounded. I've been trying to research this. My boss even laughed at me today because I was looking up, trying to figure out the laws for tonight's show. I'm like, he goes, "What's going on?" I'm like, "This boa thing happened and these snakes." I'm trying to tell my boss he's not into animals. And he goes, "I heard about it." That's what he said. That's what I heard about it. And I was like,
it was mainstream news on USA Today today. And I saw it maybe 20, 30 times come across Facebook and Yahoo and a bunch of other places. So it's going national.
And how many employees are in Fish and Wildlife down there, FWC? FWC has how many employees? I think it's in the hundreds, right? Maybe thousands. I think it's hundreds.
Will be at thousands with all the local wardens and stuff like that.
Around 3,000. 3,000 employees. That's insanity to me. That the Fish and Wildlife down in Florida should not have that much pull in the captive game. That's my now if they want to do a division and actually educate and maybe even reach out to people that know what the captive is and hire these people to be that division, yes. But this just shows they have no clue what the hell they're doing. It just
at least at minimum be required to do due diligence and actually like consult with people who are experienced with them.
Yeah, I mean, how many people down in Florida they could actually talk to? I mean, I can name there's Kenan, there's Tom, Ty. If they don't like Kenan, they don't like Tom, they can go to Ty. I mean, these people could actually say, yes, this is correct or this is not. And I mean, if you look at Tom's right now saying, hey, owning less animals is better. They should be talking to him. You know, I mean, times like get bigger enclosures, nicer enclosures. But at one time I was going to go move to Florida until the venomous laws happen. I mean, now it's like it's a pain in the butt to own venomous snakes down there. It's actually sometimes it's more dangerous with what they're doing.
My friend who works for the Miami Zoo, he's a venomous owner down there. They bring him venomous snakes that they confiscate like they do with you.
Yeah.
And he said maybe there's 15, 20 people in the state of Florida that are legal to have hot animals like that.
Yep. And I know more than I can tell you. I'll never say the names. I know more that have venomous snakes.
Oh, I'm sure.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
My facility, I want to do, there's a lot going on, especially with the websites and stuff, but I want to open it up and I want to have venomous. I have a friend, Joe. We had Joe on the show. He has a Mojave rattlesnake that has no buttons, no rattles. And so I got to get it put on the insurance and it can be in my facility. And I can keep it. I'm allowed to like have venomous there for a little bit, but my insurance.
Is that because it's handicapped with no rattle?
I don't know. My insurance agency, they're weird. They are so weird. It's like, oh, you have an alligator. You want an alligator there? It's going to be $2,900 a month. What? I'm like, okay, but it's not a 5-footer. It's a baby. The snake over here could do more damage than that baby alligator. Oh, no, it's going to be this much. The Nile monitor, I had an adult Nile, which if no one knows, I had to put the Nile monitor down. She got sick. I know I was talking about it before. She got sick and I didn't want her to suffer and I put her down. But she was 5-6 feet. And they didn't care about her. She would have ripped someone in half.
She'd do some serious damage.
And that's just a lizard. So these people don't know what they're talking about. I'm like,
a baby alligator versus a large tokay gecko. Which are you afraid of?
Yeah, and I just wanted to keep one in facility because I get them so often. I was like, I'll just keep it until I get the next one. That's what I was gonna do. And this, and then I'm doing talks at the animal show in the Resch Center across from Lambeau Field. It's coming up next month. There's 3 days. I'm doing 3 talks. One of the days I got Bill, a Masonary herbicide, giving me one of his gators to talk about and saying why it's not a good pet. Because he goes, don't you have one? I'm like, not right now. It's actually pretty nice. It's like pretty nice. Freaking gators. But I don't have this problem with, the Fish and Wildlife game. But it makes me wonder. I'm so honest and open to them. Would they do this to me? I mean, if they come in and kill my geckos, I'd have a little issue. They might have a bullet in their head. Seriously, I would have a little issue.
Anything that's not native, they could play that game.
100%. And I mean, leopard geckos this big, and they're not native.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Same with me.
I just don't get it. I just don't understand why they're playing this game. What they're doing. The invasive. They could actually help the invasive species down there working with the captive people.
Oh yeah.
My partner
that I work with down in Florida, he catches at least 24 species of invasive animals, and all he's doing is doing them a favor.
Yep. This say, okay, the pet trade can open up, and I mean, I know this sounds bad, but have one of the farms that they shut down. Give all collect there, and this farm says every Burmese you bring me, I give you $20-$30, whatever, and put it back in the pet trade.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like with guns when they have people buybacks.
Yeah. Yep. And it would just help out. Then it would prevent anyone from releasing it, because if you're going to release it, usually says that you don't have a home for it.
Yep.
So now you got a person that's going to give you a home.
Do you think pushing back and fighting back, any of these laws can get changed back in any way?
Florida
at
won't
this
do
point.
It. Florida U.S. ARC will do it, but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to stand up that owns animals.
Mm-mm.
They're terrified
Well,
right now.
they just put the fear in all the keepers in Florida right now.
Yep, that did it right there.
I mean, think
do you
about,
think
let's
it's
say,
possible to get these laws changed in any way?
You have the professional lobbyists that work with U.S. ARC Florida to do something about it. Someone who have nothing to lose in their home.
Lawyers,
Because
and money.
as soon as you start talking, you're instantly a target with this.
Mm-hmm.
They can come see me all day long. I don't care. They can come see me. I don't fear. I stood right up in HR 669. I'm like, guys, I have more ways to die in my house than you guys have driving down the road. We can talk. And they were like, well, why do you own those? I'm like, why do you do this? You know, I just had lists of stuff. I'm like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why do you skydive? Why do you do, you know? And the biggest thing I get when it comes to venomous is, when is there been a third party bite where it's not the owner that's died? There has.
I can't remember the last time there was.
I don't believe there has been. If there is, it's one. It's usually the person handling the snake.
Usually they make a mistake, they slip, the snake hook falls off or something like that, and they make a hasty grab for the snake as the snake turns on them.
Did the guy just die though from a snake bite?
Yeah, there's been a couple deaths.
There's been a few over the years.
No, but I mean, there was
I've
just
never
one,
heard
like a month ago.
The mamba bite.
Yeah, that's only been a few months.
No,
where was that at?
North Carolina.
I think something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the mamba bite. There. I mean, my buddy Frank got bit by a mamba, but he owns M toxins. So
yeah,
that was what, a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
he's one hell of a professional with what he does, though. So he's prepared for it.
Yeah, that dude knows. Oh geez, his place is so nice. M toxins is like, oh god. I know
Megan who works with him or worked with him.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And to tell you the truth, I don't believe it's legal to own any of that in that city. But he's okayed. I mean, he's okay. But I don't believe
the programs he's doing with the anti-venoms, I think, puts him in a different class.
Yeah,
for them.
And I love it. So I mean, it's just, if the FWC and the Fish and Game and all these people worked with the captive breeders, their life would be easier. I don't get it. I mean, if they put it out, said, even if they confiscated them and said, okay, we have 35 animals that need homes, they would find it instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, if they work with the breeders and not make the breeders fear them, or the keepers fear them for that matter,
yep.
Then the keepers are going to network together like we do at a reptile expo, and say, hey, these are available. Who wants them?
100%.
And they'll go.
I want to know how this is going to affect Daytona.
Repticon Daytona?
Yeah, the Daytona Expo, yeah. Because this is a big deal. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the people that are going down to that expo out of state aren't getting the permits correctly, some of them.
No.
Oh, and it says right on there, you're supposed to get your permits before you enter the state.
No. And Wisconsin has a weird law like that, where if you're outside the state, you have to have a permit, a health certificate for your animals. But it's an old cattle law. It's for cattle. And I've had Fish and Game tell me we would never prosecute on that. But then this happens.
Yeah, and then it makes you think, yeah.
I'm like, what in the world?
Trust a single one of them, even if they're one of your friends. If they're being told to do something by their boss with a gray area law like that,
they just. So, I have a friend that's outside the state, and that's why he's hesitant to come to, Wisconsin. So some of the laws need to be reviewed. some laws need reviewed, or make health certificates like you don't have to get it every time you come in. It may be a once a year to your facility, or proof that your animals have visited a vet or something like that. That maybe there's something can be done. I mean, look at what happened at Tinley Park. A vet goes around and you pay him $50. He looks at your animals and gives you a health certificate.
Yep.
I mean, that vet's cleaning up. I mean, how many vendors were at Tinley? 300?
Yeah, and they're all big time vendors too that had been booked for months and months and months.
Yeah, $50 a pop. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, he cleaned house.
I'll be paying him $50. I'll be vending Tinley.
$50 a table though, right? Like type of thing.
I think it's
per
$50
vendee?
a species, right?
I wasn't sure. I thought it was per vendor, but maybe per species.
Yeah, it might be per vendor, but I know that you need a health certificate for each species.
Right.
So you might charge you $50 to look at everything and then give you the health certificate.
I just think it's funny that the guy comes in and he can't possibly know everything about every single species he's looking at.
No.
Exactly. My whole thing is, I mean, no one take this literally, but a gecko could hide crypto before it gets there and give crypto to every other damn animal in the house, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that other vendors don't do that. I'm pretty sure we all take care of our animals, but we've all seen
like
shady animals in places. We've all seen it.
That's like a ball python with nidovirus. Could hide it,
Mhm.
take it there, and
That just came up somewhere else too. Where was that? Someone just brought that up, but it wasn't a ball python. Was it a carpet?
yeah, but carpets get it, berms get it,
Yeah.
blood pythons can get it. I don't know if you know Stephen Tillis. You guys ever heard of Stephen Tillis? He's a young guy. I've been following him since he was like 12 years old. He's been doing blood pythons and all, and he went to school for veterinary science and zoology and stuff. So he wrote this whole paper on nidovirus, and the only reason he wrote the paper on it is because he bought a house and he moved his entire collection to a new like 100 miles away, and he said within a few days you could sit there and look and like, that snake's sick, that one's okay, that one's sick, and he said you can go through the whole thing, and then they started dying and he found out it was nidovirus, and then he had to do everything all over again, and he realized that you could have a collection with nidovirus for years and nothing pop up. The minute they get stressed is when it shows up.
That's what happens with chameleons with me. I hardly have anything that's ever sick, but a stress factor. When you have too many of them together, when I get them in boxes coming from Florida or from different breeders I work with, and you can see the ones that they cower down, they're submissive, the stress has gotten to them, and they usually don't survive.
Yeah.
It flips a switch in them.
But it's not like a spreadable type of disease, though. It's just a stress related thing with those.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They're very fragile. It's kind of like a rabbit. You can scare a rabbit into a heart attack.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same difference. But with the chameleons, we have such a good success rate with them because we know what we're doing with them. Even the wild ones, we quarantine them for a little while to make sure they don't have parasites. And we've never had anything bad happen, and we've sold thousands of them. So, I mean, you every once in a while, no matter what you breed, you always have a DOA here and there.
Yeah,
you know, it's just part of the process.
Oh, I lose geckos. People think I don't, but I lose geckos. I just lost a baby halfway hatched out of an egg the other day. I don't know. Perfect. It just was dead. Now, will I lose hundreds? No, I'll lose, a handful, maybe 5. And
but how many animals do you produce a year though to lose 5? I mean, seriously.
100%. I'll tell you guys what I'm going to produce. I should be at 7,200 to 8,000 geckos this year. That's where I should be at by end of year.
Okay, last year, my partner down in Florida sold wholesale over 18,000 chameleons. Less than a dozen of them were sick.
Yeah,
that is crazy. He just blew me away. I don't want to hear anyone say I do a lot of geckos. 18,000. I don't want to hear it.
Just this year alone, in the last 4 months, I've sold 3,000 of them myself.
See, and now people think I wonder why I don't bring thousands to reptile expos. I have contracts. I'm a legit LLC, so people don't understand that. I'll have contracts with other LLCs, and they're on a 90-day, 120 payout, and I send them geckos every month.
Right.
And that's why, and that's what keeps me alive. That's honestly what keeps me going. I know them checks are going to be there. I know these companies are going to send me my money.
Yep.
I don't have an issue.
What we're doing is we're in our infancy right now, working with a couple different wholesale companies, putting these millions where they need to be instead of in Florida, where they're actually, you wouldn't think that they're very invasive, but they eat a lot of bees and a lot of spiders.
And that's actually bad if they do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially when they're in orange groves, when you have an issue with an orange grove trying to pollinate, and you got chameleons waiting on the branches for the bees to arrive.
100%. I mean, the bees are very, very important to me, and I think spiders are important because they regulate the mosquitoes, the flies, and all the other crap. I have widows outside. I have widows outside, and everyone's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I actually buy mantis eggs to put it in my garden because it takes care of ladybugs.
I let go a whole clutch of 5-line skinks in my yard last year.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, they'll take care of stuff.
They're native here, so I put them in the yard.
And that's what it is. Some of the toads, I like some of the toads and the frogs we have around here. My black widows are my favorite. I get gutsy with them, but not as gutsy as John Apple. Oh God. He went in. I have an Arizona Harry, the one that stings me all the time, the actual scorpion. He goes in, just picks it up. I'm like, dude, I've been trying to do that forever. You just go in there like it was nothing, like just scooped it on up. I'm like, whatever. I hold my desk talker though. I love my desk.
You gotta lose that tenseness to you.
Yeah, he just went right. He's like, oh, look at this, Gary. I'm like, I just looked at him like, what are you doing? But this is crazy that I don't know who to trust after this. Like the Fish and Wildlife, I'm not like friends with them, but I know them and they communicate with me. So
makes you question it, doesn't it? Yeah.
And what's next? If Gary picked up that monocle cobra. Now we can go raid him.
Yeah, now he has something that's dangerous.
Yeah, so let's go do this. I'm blessed enough that my facility's in a town that allows anything. I was terrified. If people don't know this story, I got the facility. I have all my animals in there, and I'm setting stuff up, and I get a knock, and there's 2 people in a suit and 2 cops.
That would be scary. Uh-oh.
I open the door. Yeah. Oh, we're just here to welcome you to the town. Can we see what you got? I'm like, oh, yeah. And went in there all fine. They're good to go. I was like terrified at first. I'm like, all I do is geckos. That's all I do is geckos. And then the one cop came because there's an apartment above my facility. The person that owns my place has an apartment above there. And he was looking for the person above me. And he came in and goes, are you the guy that got, this is around the ball python time, that got all the ball pythons taken away from him up in Green Bay? No, that wouldn't have happened to me. That's all I said. I was like, that would have happened to me. I thought that was kind of funny too. Man. So, yeah, we should try not to call. If you guys do call the FWC, try not to make it where you're just yelling at them, though. Try to be productive with it.
No, it ain't. It's Gary.
What'd I do?
Making a clicking noise.
Are you clicking your pen?
No.
Oh, no, I was doing this.
Oh.
It's a game.
It sounds like you're going like this with a pen.
No, yeah. No, I usually have a fidgeter when I'm doing it. I usually have a fidgeter, and I don't have it. So I've been trying to look for stuff. I'll sit here and I'll spin stuff over. Well, you can't see this. It's a green.
It's a green fidget.
So I'll sit here and spin it. And my mic is supposed to be a condenser mic or dynamic. I forget which one. The one that doesn't pick up around it. Like,
yeah,
you're not supposed to hear that as much as you hear that.
Yeah, it's localized. Weird. It's not an omnidirectional mic.
And I keep it really far away from me because I don't know. It is all good. I think everyone should just, buy me some more stuff. It'd be good. Game advertising. Oh yeah, there it is. This video games. I got stuff all over, guys. Look at this. Look. I have stuff everywhere. But that Fish and Wildlife game just makes me wonder how much can I trust people? Like, They're asking for Massasaugas. Why would the fishing game ask for Massasaugas? Shouldn't they have people that are intelligent enough to know where they are around here? I know. I could take you right to
I'll
them
tell
right
you
now.
from experience, the people that I know go out herping and looking for different animals, they don't tell you where they find them. They want to make sure that they can go find them again.
100%. I mean, I'll take people herping. I will tell you this. I'll take people herping. And I'm like, hey, let's go here. Let's go here. But there's spots I don't take nobody. I'm like, nope,
right.
I'm good. Massasaugas are endangered up here, man. There's not that many. It's just crazy. Like, I hate people that kill chipmunks. I like chipmunks. But I know they damage people's stuff. They're my friends.
Not like red squirrels do.
My father-in-law and mother-in-law have a lot of land out in Howard, and they try to get rid of chipmunks and the squirrels. And I said, well, you got all this land. If you would set up feeders farther away in your land and keep them fed, they'll stay out that way. And then they had bats in their attic of their barn. I was like, if you put bat boxes up, they'll use the bat boxes. I'm like, so there's ways around this.
Yeah,
the bats are good for at night. You know, you have like my in-laws. They have a giant mercury vapor light outside the house, so you walk outside and it's like a giant fog of bugs flying around it. And then if you look closely, you watch the bats swooping in.
See, that's cool.
Just out of the light.
See, I love bats.
I mean, if you have bat houses, they're going to clean up your yard a little bit for you. I mean, even the frogs are smart over there. The toads will sit under the light, wait for the bugs to hit the garage door and hit the ground.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I love bats. I was gonna get one. My buddy Brian he is a curator at the zoo outside of Chicago. I don't know if anyone knows Brian Summerfield. And I went to him. I was like, dude, I want a bat. And he goes, Gary, no. I was like, you need such a big enclosure. I was like, damn it. But I
have my hands on a few of them, but I've always let them go.
Yeah, I always go to Brian. I'm like, dude, I want this animal. What can I do? How can I do this? And I went to him. I said, before I started making our zoo, I was like, I want to work at the zoo. And he goes, no, you don't. He goes, the money's not there. And I was like, whatever. And I was
for college kids.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna build my own. What kind of bat you trying to get? I wanted the big ones. I wanted a fox or
big fox bat. Yeah,
I wanted something big. And he told me that they need really big enclosures, so that was going to go to some of the small ones. But he said that if bats don't fly enough, they actually go in depression. I was like, oh. So I was like, okay, because I was like, the enclosure's not that big at the zoo. For them little ones, I was like, oh, whatever.
Well, flying fox, it has like a 3-foot wingspan.
Yeah, I wanted one.
That needs a lot of space to get out there. It's like having a sandhill crane that's in your cage.
Yeah, I wanted one so bad. I've never touched one. I just like the look of them. I've got to play with one. I've seen them because San Diego Zoo has them. Toledo Zoo has one. But I don't know if people at San Diego Zoo to let me touch anything. And Toledo Zoo said that one bites. But I got to touch their Cuban before he got rid of their Cuban croc. I used to sit on his back. He was a big lug. And now they got a saltwater croc and they won't let me in that cage. They got the Cuban, they got a salty, and I'm like, dude, I want to go in there. And he goes, no. I go, why? And he goes, no one goes in there unless they have to go in there.
having dreams of Lake Placid.
The salty was big salty too. I mean,
yeah.
It's salty in Toledo Zoo. Brian Barczyk just went to the Toledo Zoo. What was it, last week? And I was like, dude, you should have told me. I could have got you behind the scene, even though he's Brian Barczyk. I could have gotten him behind the scenes at Toledo Zoo. Man. Oh, so you going to be at the Scaled Up Expo or Sewer Fest or Scaled Up?
I don't know. Work has got me tied up a lot right now. So
ditto.
I'm also still waiting on eggs to hatch. I have my due date is around June. I have one that looks like it's sweating. I thought we were starting to get in an early hatch, but I think it was just moisture.
I hate when that happens. I hate because the gecko eggs do the same thing. They'll start sweating a little bit. And you're like, oh, we're gonna get them, and then they're like, oh, is this some moisture?
I have my incubator is built custom, and it has a fogger built into it to add humidity when it needs it. And
that's cool.
I think it was the fact that it had a little bit of moisture from the fogger.
That's cool. I like that. I never thought about doing it that way. That's actually pretty cool.
I have it built onto humidistat, so it turns on the fogger just enough to just add humidity to it. It's built out of an old mini fridge.
And chameleon eggs take forever to hatch.
9 months.
That's crazy. Mine's 6
And it's the same. It's almost the same for panthers or veils. You know, people do all the panthers because they have all the cool colors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I've been doing special colored veils for a while now. I can get colors in veil chameleons that'll rival any panther.
That's kind of insane.
Mm-hmm.
I like Jackson Eye, but Jackson Eye are live birth, right? Jackson Eye are live birth, right?
Jacksons are live birth,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and
So
they're a more humid animal, a smaller one too. They don't get about half the size of a full size male veil.
Yeah, I got a female at the Janesville show, I don't know, 3 years ago. I was so disappointed. I knew it was wild caught. I knew it was. And I took it home, and 3 months later, I found it in the bottom of the cage. And it was eating everything.
90% of them are a wild caught.
Yeah, I was like, come on. I was like, 3 months. I was so upset about that. But
I'm uploading a couple pictures right now. Some of these pictures are borrowed from my partner down in Florida. But these are some of the animals that we've worked with. And the colors are just absolutely insane. I don't know if it's popping up or not. Invalid file type.
Oh, that's just
not that one.
Yeah, it's not popping up. It's not popping up.
Hold on. I'll bring it up.
I blame Andrew.
It works. I got big shoulders. I can take it.
I have some cool geckos being hatched. People are going to go nutso about. I got some cool stuff. I got pure macularis hatching. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
I got pure fasciolatus hatching. That's pretty cool. I'm not like other people and be like, oh, I'm going to mix it all together. I don't do that. I keep it all the same. More people now saying that I have pure macularis het tremper.
There, pull that up on my share screen.
Still that. That's a lot of chameleons, though.
Is there another file next to that?
No. It just shows me this.
Okay, hang on.
You might have to get rid of that one. Oh, like you did there, yeah.
Hold on here.
I got Cypher stuff. I got Ghost stuff. I got Albie stuff. What else? Bold stuff. Riddler stuff. Riddler stuff's gonna be. I don't know what the Riddler's just a joke that stuck. Oh, I do have something. I'll show you guys. People that are not friends with me on Facebook. I think I posted on ReptiPost too, but I posted on Facebook because I'm just trying to advertise. Let me see if I can find it. And my wife is talking to me too. Everyone's talking to me. Right there. This is the new banner people are going to see at shows. That's coming to me. So that will be here.
I just sent you 3 pictures, Gary. You can pop those in there on your side.
Oh yeah, that'd be easier. Look at this. Boom. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a veiled.
Wow.
That's a veiled?
That's a veiled. It was wild caught too. These are older pictures from my partner in Florida that he and his hunters had found.
That was sort of insane.
So what's an animal like that go for, if you don't mind me asking?
Depends. We've seen them go anywhere between 500 and 1,000. There's some other ones that are even more rare that we found. We found some that actually do not have an ounce of green in them. They stay white, gray, and black.
So
and
is the hide, is it genetic or is it line bred?
Pied is genetic. I'll get a good picture of my pied right now. I'll show you.
Pied is, I like pied.
He's my big boy at home.
Oh, you guys want to see me as a kid? There you go. It's my grandma. That's me and my cousin.
Oh, I seen them you put them pictures up the other day, didn't you?
No, I think my cousin did.
Oh, Gary did, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then
There you
ReptiPost. There we go. I hit the wrong button.
He's a
See the
teal
pride. Yeah.
pied.
Now,
So
now I'm sure you're breeding that to try to make
yes,
that.
he
but
is.
Have you made any that even come out looking pied?
Right now we're waiting on about 40, 50 eggs that are almost guaranteed from him that at least have some in there. I have a female that also has the almost the same traits. So
Wow.
putting them together, it works well. I don't know if you know a lot about the pied on these guys, but the pink you see is actually transparent skin. They lack the pigment that's attached to their nervous system that they change colors with in those regions.
Oh,
So even on his head where it shows black and white, that's part of the pied also.
Okay.
very interesting.
I
Really
like the
cool to
pies.
see.
I like the veils. They live what, 3 to 4, or do they live longer than that?
Oh, no, almost 9 years.
Oh, 9 years.
Oh, wow.
So that
Captive,
rumor.
captive veils, if they're taken care of and they're healthy, they can live up to 9 years.
What's Panther? Panther.
Panthers are like 5 to 6.
Okay.
I know the females don't last as long.
So how
But
much
they lay
is just
lots of eggs.
a normal veiled go for then?
A regular normal build, you can pick them
Yeah.
up for anywhere between $50 and $100,
Okay.
depending on what the place bought it for.
Lots and lots and lots and lots of veils. Pure Montanius. I wish I had pure Montanius. My female. I have a female. I got to get some more Montanius.
Here's a question for you.
It's technically the same. It's a translucent gene. It's only sporadic.
Okay. So chameleons. So if
Yes,
you had to choose, you would do veiled over Panther.
I've had Panthers. I just prefer the veils.
They say
Temperament
smaller.
is different,
I
My
like
daughters. Go ahead.
I like Jackson, but I can't find anyone that breeds them. You got to breed Jackson for me.
I had my hand on a couple of them. The pet store locally to me had a female surrendered that didn't know was pregnant, and she dropped 15 or 20 live babies on the person who bought it.
No way.
And that's what happens when you buy Jacksons, because 95% of them are wild caught, and usually when they're all clustered together or before they're sold, the females are getting knocked up.
Wow. So buy the females. Yeah, I forget who I bought the female from in Janesville show. It was the last Janesville I did. I haven't done Janesville since then. I got alligator lizards that I have still, which she's pregnant again. They give live too. I'm excited about that. I have 4 of the babies. Well, they're adults now. They're not breeding, but I bred the pair I got originally.
Well, here's a question for you then. What would be the typical setup for a veiled chameleon?
Well, I look at it like this. When people ask me at expos, there's a lot of urban legends about how it used to be, where veiled chameleons or chameleons in general are difficult to take care of. They're really not. It's the fact that the human species is lazy. So when an animal requires you to go and spray it for humidity and moisture and water to drink, and people aren't home, they're on vacation, or they just don't feel like getting off the couch at that moment, or they just forget, that's where the animals start having issues. So now you have Wi-Fi power strips that you can program with your phone. They have devices like foggers and automatic misters, humidistats to control all that by sensor. It makes it easier to take care of them. So with mine, they're all automated. Everything in my cage is completely automated except for the feeding process. And what you do is you set up a vertical cage. It has greenery that the general rule is if you can't find your chameleon for about 15 seconds, it's about right, because then they're comfortable to hide in their environment.
Oh, that's
So
cool. I didn't know that.
And then kind of like a bearded dragon, where you have a horizontal temperature gradient. One end of the cage will be hot, one end of the cage will be cool. They can move whenever they want to change their thermal intake. Well, chameleons, they do it vertically. So if you have UV and heat lamp above, you have enough plants to where they can go below the plants to get out of the UV rays, out of the heat, so they can regulate that way. So all my cages are set up so they have all these different zones.
What would the basic temperature be?
Oh, heat lamps about 90 degrees, anywhere between 85 and 95. I run them at 90. UVs are just jungle UVs. I use Vivtex LED UVs, and they work well.
I'm trying to see if I can find anything on the laws, but I can't.
Laws on
the laws are still stupid. I tried today.
There's pages and pages and pages of those laws. They repeat themselves in different formats too.
Yeah, like give a little bit here, a little bit there, and then they contradict themselves too. Oh, that's when Jim interviewed. Yeah, not much on it right now today. Oh, right there is the last thing posted. US Arc Florida posted something right now. Let's see if I can show you this. We'll go here. So US Arc Florida calls Governor DeSantis to ask for resignation of FWC leaders, an immediate end to forcing the station to give captive animals in FWC. So that's the article. So on Florida US Arc, they have an article on it. And I'm weird. I will actually print these all out. I'm really weird. So that must be the snake that it was carrying the gene for. It looks like a sunglow. But all yellow, no pattern.
Was that like the second or third snake in the video they pulled out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that might not be what we're.
No, that's just a general picture, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just says that's an albino.
If that was done in my house and that there's no way. I mean,
yeah, how can that even be logically allowed
to do that?
It's a bloodbath and a feces bath there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous that they did this. And then they're measuring the snakes. What's the big deal? You killed them. They're done now. You're right. They wanted just the recognition.
It's exactly
That's
what
all
they
this
wanted.
was about. Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing as the police posted up that they pulled a guy with 3 ounces of weed off the street. Good job, guys. Go find the guys who are actually dealing it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing here. They're looking for recognition. You're measuring a snake that means nothing to anybody other than their keeper.
This is just ridiculous. And then you go into other. They got tons of articles up on. But I will say that Florida has more going on that impacts fast than the rest of the nation. That's why I think US Arc Florida was formed, is they have more that impacts instantly. Why everyone else, we have time. This here, I don't even know where to begin to attack it. I don't even know where to start.
And rightfully so, with US Arc Florida needing more clout and more people doing it. Florida's that sweet spot where things can survive that normally can't. And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Thing there.
Yeah. And it's multiple climates.
Emily has a question for you, Corey. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry. Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, does he sell chameleons? A lot.
Right now, I'm waiting on babies, so I'm down to just my breedable adults that I don't sell.
And then you have like a website.
Yeah, technicams.com.
And he prints stuff 3D wise.
Oh, yeah. I do all kinds of crazy stuff. But that sweet spot they have in Florida for the animals, you have like the situation with the iguanas falling out of trees because they're stunned from the cold.
Uh-huh.
That's the tail end of the sweet spot where it's not enough environment for them, so they can't handle it like they would in Cuba or in the Dominican Republic, where they're not going to get that cold snap. So same thing with the snakes. They were dying from that same cold snap. And my partner down there, go ahead, Andrew.
No, go ahead. You can finish what you were saying. I was going to say
My
something.
partner down there actually has friends that, and I have people I know that hunt the iguanas now because they can make a full living off just hunting the iguanas. And they'll go out and they'll get paid by homeowners associations and businesses and even counties and cities to go out and take care of a problem with iguanas burrowing by houses and canals and waterways. And they get paid to take the animal after they shoot it with a 22 caliber air rifle. And they get paid by markets for Hispanic markets for meat. These are delicacies, so they don't waste them.
There's, I was just contacted by somebody here that knows a group of people that went to Florida on a tour just to hunt iguanas.
Mm-hmm.
And
a lot of those guys down there, they do paid tours.
That's all it was, and they went on a tour just to hunt iguanas.
Yep.
I thought that was kind of crazy. But
and they do other invasives down there in those tours too.
100%. Tegus. I know they did tegus for a while.
They do tegus. There's a lot of those near some canals in Cape Coral and Fort Myers. And then West Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale, they have the iguanas that are over there as well.
And if you're listening to this and you never dealt with an adult tegu, do not go try to catch an adult tegu in the wild.
Don't even try to catch an adult iguana.
Yeah, it will tear you
without
up.
knowing how to handle
it. Without a doubt, it'll tear you up.
I had a 7-foot long iguana when I was younger, when I lived in Florida, before all this crap went down. And he was tame as a baby. But if he got outside and he was kind of spooked, and one day a squirrel came up to him right next to the tree, and he about to hit that squirrel with his tail and knocked him 30 feet away.
That's not nice.
I had a buddy, 2 buddies actually, both had iguanas, and they were both large males. And the one, his ring finger bit him above the ring finger. He had to get his finger sewed back on. And the other guy opened up the cage without announcing anything, just opened it up, and it flew out and bit the tip of his nose off, and he had to have it surgically reattached.
Mm-hmm. My 7-footer was just a juvenile. He's about 2 feet long, starting to get up in size, a little bit feisty. He bit me right here on the bridge of the nose sideways when I was feeding him.
Oh,
just took a little bit of skin off on that size, but it was enough to make it painful.
You guys say I'm crazy for geckos. See, that's why when I used to be back in the day, I was only snakes. It was nothing else but snakes. I didn't do 4-leggers at all. And now I only do 4-leggers. Well, I got snakes. I got ball pythons, and I got a few other snakes at the shop, which I'm getting an albino boa. And it's kind of sucky to say, but I'm getting an albino boa at the show in Green Bay. I have an albino boa. It's got a big eye, and they can't sell it. It's like a sun glow or something. I told her I didn't care, but it has a big eye. And now I am looking for an albino normal Burmese. But I want it to be male. It has to be a male albino. I don't want to breed it. I want it to be male for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking for an albino male Burmese python. I don't care about the hats. I don't care if someone says, "Oh, it's het for $5,000." I don't care. I just want a couple $100 albino Burmese python. How many albino Burmese go for anymore? My brother owns Professional Herpiculture, so Pro Herps, and he had an albino granite. And he goes, "I'll let you have it for $300." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't want the granite though. I just want the albino." There is a very big reason why I want it. And they're potatoes. They're handable. I can hand it off to somebody and say, "Here's a big snake that you can hold. It's not going to be 25 feet with being a male."
Here's another one for you.
There's my boy Miles.
Oh no, they're not. They're 100% invasive in Florida. They're the veiled chameleon population. Naturally from Yemen and Oman in Saudi Arabia. So they're 100% invasive, unprotected. You can take them as you want. And FWC would obviously prefer them to all be euthanized. But there's nothing against you taking them and reselling them as long as you don't release them to the wild.
But now the pythons, the tegus and stuff, you have to have a permit to hunt those, right?
The pythons, the tegus, and the iguanas, yes, because they're all on a hit list.
Yep.
They actually made a actual hit list for those and saying it's kill on site.
Yep. Are you allowed to own chameleons in Florida?
Yes.
Okay.
They are not on the list where they're illegal to have. Even though they're invasive in Southwest Florida, they are not illegal.
Well, now that Matt moved down there, leopard geckos are going to get put on the list. Sorry, Matt. I almost went to Florida 15 years ago. I'm glad I didn't. Wisconsin's pretty good, but I do need to move the warmer climate because of my Aldabras. They're going to get big.
Pennsylvania's a good state too when it comes to animals.
Yeah, because you got
Depends where you are.
Yeah.
I would move the Hamburg area. I mean, they still got the largest venomous show in the world. Still, I mean, in America still. I mean, a lot of people travel to go to it, but at the same time, I love you, but I wish you would regulate a little bit better because something bad's going to happen there.
I thought it was going to happen with Puff Daddy. Was that Muff Daddy?
Well, yeah. Muff Daddy, whatever his name was. But if anyone remembers Venomoid Inc., he used to get gaboons out. He used to get gaboons out there that were devenomized and hold them. And I'm like, dude, I get it. You're a doctor. I get it. You're smarter than me. I get it that I hate venomoids, but a gaboon's bite is going to hurt you. Like an adult gaboon bite is going to hurt you, man.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, the infection, that needle's going to go. You're a doctor. That's going to go deep in you. I mean, they won't bite though. Okay. What if it swings around and bites someone in the neck? Because he's just holding it out in front of everybody.
Let's do what those double fangs do.
Oh, I hate getting bit by anything, let alone a freaking gaboon.
What did he do to make him devenomous?
He was a vet. I forget his freaking name now. And he used to take him in, and he would go underneath the mouth and cut the venom glands out.
Would he leave the fangs?
Yep.
Yeah, that would be a hell of a bite.
Well, the fangs would grow back anyway, but it was proven. Ray Gusha, I love you, Ray. I know he listens sometimes. We gotta get Ray Gusha on. He had a king cobra that was devenomized. We could not prove it was from this guy, but it was chipped. And the guy went and said, yeah, this chipped because this guy chipped them all. And this king cobra bit a paper towel hole and had venom.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jim Harrison had 2 cobras that were from this guy, and they produced venom.
Yeah, he milked them right on the video.
That's
like that.
He contacted me right away. He goes, I got something for you, man. I was like, whoa.
And that's like that kid who was walking around with a gaboon in a show, and he was telling somebody that it can kill a rat pretty quick. So the guy went to his house and put a rat in a cage, and when it bit it, you know how they bite and they don't let go.
They hold up.
And the rat died right away. Well, then they milked it and proved that it wasn't devenomized, and the kid thought it was the whole time he had it.
And he's walking around holding a gaboon in his hands.
Uh-huh.
A bitter bite, any of the bitter species, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Like, you could get AV and die.
That's the largest pit viper, right? Yeah.
One of the fastest strikes. Any of the bitis are nasty. I mean, I was stupid at times. I mean, I held boom slings and stuff, and boom slings are very, very venomous. But I mean, at the same time, I wasn't doing what these people are doing. And I mean, I've had how many venomous snakes? I don't even know, but species of rattlesnakes. I was a rattlesnake guy. And there's no way to ever say, yo, pick up that Western Diamondback. Screw you. There ain't no way. I'm like, the boom sling I can control a little bit. Cobras are, I don't care what anyone says that, outside the venomous world, cobras are easy to tail. They're just noodles. They're easy to tail. They'll crawl up a hook fast and come at you. Bitis 2 hooks are fine. Unless it's like a Russell's. The Russells are freaking bullets. They'll crawl up and come at you. They'll launch themselves. Which I was just watching Al's videos. He still has that boom sling. I'm gonna have to call him up and get that boom.
I remember when I was younger, there was I think it was the YMCA when I was younger. We saw a water moccasin chasing a bird, and it was leaping at the bird off the ground.
They do. Venomous snakes are nasty, and most of the time, what people don't understand, these kids that are buying venomous snakes, when you get bit, you go to the hospital. They don't know what to do. You usually know more. You usually know more than they do. You
better hope you can identify the snake, and you are right.
You better know. You better know what you're doing. I mean, like, I had Western Diamondback Mojave crosses. How do you treat that? Because a Mojave has a neurotoxin, and Westerns really don't have a neurotoxin, so it's a different bite. What would you need? Because I don't think Crowfab. I didn't have Crowfab for on the list for my Mojaves. And Crowfab's a nasty anti-venom anyway. That's a nasty.
Just going through the process is nasty altogether.
Oh yeah. Ray Hunter was bit on the hand by an Eastern, and we thought we were going to lose him. Like the group of people we were talking, we were going to lose Ray Hunter. And they cut him. He swelled up. It was an Eastern bite on his hand. That was one of his nastiest bites, and he's been bit by cobras and everything else, coral snakes. So that was one of his nastiest bites. Yeah, screw getting bit.
Yeah.
Screw getting bit. But I would say this: there's a lot of venomous snakes I would rather be bit by than an adult retic. Adult retic will mess you up.
Oh, the amount of teeth they got.
I had a buddy. His name was Art, and his wife for his birthday bought him a retic. It was about a 10-footer, I guess. She surprised him with it, and he didn't know. He come home and she had it in a box or whatever, and he opened it up. So he took it upstairs, put it in a tub to wash it off, to get it all clean. He had a whole cage for it. And she's downstairs. This is no joke. She's downstairs and she doesn't hear nothing for a while. Then she hears all this banging, and he come rolling down, because in Philadelphia, you got, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but everything's upstairs, like your bathroom and all's upstairs. He come rolling down the steps with it wrapped around him, bit on his face, holding his face. It took him a long time, her and him together were alone, to get that snake off, get it in the cage. He had to go to the hospital. He got 187 stitches in his face alone.
Oh, yeah.
No joke. I was like, well, what would you want when you don't even, it's an adult animal? And back then, that was 30 years ago. I'm sure it was probably wild caught or something. Wasn't a happy animal to begin with.
Better the breeder who got rid of it knew it was a problem.
Yeah, or that too. 187 stitches in the face. She got it from Martin's Aquarium in Jenkintown, Pennsylvania. Gary, you should know that place. I'm sure you've heard of it. Yeah. So.
He's not around anymore, is he?
He's around, but he doesn't have the pet store no more.
I was gonna say he's not around anymore. Yeah, I was gonna say that's been gone for. Well, the Kick Brothers are still around. People should know the Kick Brothers.
Yeah,
I've been in the Kick Brothers place before it was raided. I don't know if they still have it, but the Kick Brothers still around. Yeah, all them boys out that way, I knew them all. Was just watching Chandler with his snakes the other day, and I got nervous just watching. I admire anyone that can do that. I already know I am too derpy. I'll give it. Chandler's a different breed too, but he's been bit. When you free handle, I'll tell you this right now. When you free handle, it's not if, it's when. You're gonna get bit. Mm-hmm. It's 100% win. But I will tell you this also, that every single venomous keeper has free handled at some point in some way. That, we'll just tail the cobra over here, or sometimes tools aren't what you need. My boom sling, I rarely use tools on it. I rarely use tools on them. They're just so fast. You put them on hook, they're gone. So you grab them and move them.
All they need is a little leverage to push, and they're out of there.
Yeah, I mean, they're fast. And then I was going to get some inland tampons from Mitch. And Al stopped me. He's like, you're going to die. That's what he said. There's no AV in the country. I'm like, oh, come on. It's going to be fun. Look at Mitch is going to hook me up. I remember that still. I took him back to Mitch. I'm like, here, Mitch, I'm not going to get these. And then he ended up giving me a bunch of cobras. I'm like, oh, that's better. Cool. All right. I wanted them inlands, though. I wanted them inlands. Now I think Al has an inland, right? He has one.
I think he did. I think he does.
Because I know he got rid of the King. Alvis is gone. Should get Al on here one time too.
That would be a good one.
I don't think people are ready for his way he talks. I don't think people are ready for him. I don't think so. But wait, what we got? Wait, Solomon Island ground boas for 20 each from the Kick Brothers back in the day. Them from that anymore. Yeah, they used to do ground boas. Oh, Kick Brother, people I don't know. They did breed ball pythons. John was it John bred ball? I forget which one. One of them were more into ball pythons, and one did all the wild caught stuff and brought in stuff, and they used to bring some rare. I bought my electric eel from the Kick Brothers. When I said I wanted electric eel, they're the ones that got it for me. They got me they got really weird stuff. So when I wanted something really weird, they got it for me. Except for venomous, they didn't do venomous. And that's when I was.
Sounds like they're the kind of guys that could get you anything. When you asked for it.
Yeah, how you want a monkey? John used to tell me all the time. What do you want? What do you want?
Yeah, who's in trouble for that right now down in Florida is unlimited or underground reptiles.
Underground reptiles is one of them people that I don't even know how to explain that. I see the animals they get up for sale sometimes, but I know they ship them out sick sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
They do. But from the rumor that I heard is he got nailed for trafficking illegal animals as well.
So he had primates and stuff, or was it turtles?
Well, turtles.
Primates.
He went to jail for turtles.
I think it was all species. He was after everything.
Oh yeah, but he went to jail for turtles.
Because I'm looking for a primate.
Or something.
I'm looking for marmoset. The legality to get a marmoset, and it's a small primate, is insane. It's insane. It's like not even worth it. But I will eventually do it because I don't want to get a big primate for the zoo. But a marmoset, small little finger monkey they're called. They're not finger monkeys, but I want a marmoset. I don't want a sloth. I don't think I do. Everyone does a sloth.
I got the reptile versions of those.
Yeah, you got the reptile version. That's right.
That's what makes chameleons so cool, though. I
love
them.
Oh yeah. So you've been in the building. So you live over that way. So you jumped right over into New York, didn't you? Because it's close to Buffalo.
Upstate New York, yeah.
Yeah, the Kick Brothers. They used to have like these closets. And I don't know if they still do these closets, and that's where they would keep their big snakes. Like it was really weird how the setup was. And then of course the aquarium part downstairs. I haven't seen the Kick Brothers in ages. I'm not sure. Are they ever in Tinley Park? I mean,
I haven't heard of them.
The Kick Brothers, yeah. Well, they got raided a few years back, like bad. They used to get raided all the time. And then it was like a bad thing. So I don't know if they still do ball pythons or not. But they couldn't bring everything to Tinley because they did wild caught. And they don't allow too much. Not far. So see, I was gonna figure us over that way. But I will be in Tinley Park this October. I will be in Gecko Row. We're gonna make Gecko Row. We're gonna have Miles and Dab and Evan and Leo. And I'm going mainly, I'll probably bring like 30 very high-end stuff that you guys never see at regular show. Kicks balls. Yeah, kick balls. That's what they go by now. Yeah, kicks balls. But I'm going to go to advertise Repti Post. By then I'll have both apps done. I got the Android app is completely coded. Now I got to compile it. And that takes about 6-7 hours of me sitting in front of this damn screen. So I got to get that done. And then I got to launch it, which I need a server. Anyone want to give me like $5,000? Anyone? Dude, give me $5,000.
If I had $5,000, I'd have plenty of plans for it.
Well, that's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, man, we'll get a server. I'm deciding if we're going to go cloud server or if we're going to go regular servers. It doesn't really matter because in the long run, cloud is not better than physical, but at the beginning, cloud is better because you can size it out better. So I'm just going to look into, I got to get the video production up so we can produce video and do live feeds, and we can do this on there. We just don't have the server power right now. Nick's actually messaging me now. He wanted to know if I can make sunglasses. Bring the New Year glasses with Repti Post. I love him. He's rocking. But it's almost 10 o'clock. We could end this early because it's been a good episode. But you guys got anything else to add to these amazing people sitting here watching us because they're rocking?
Only thing I want to do is I'm actually going to give a free plug to somewhere that I visited recently that I thought was pretty impressive. They're local. Yeah. It's called Wild Habitats in Appleton. And I'm very impressed with their store setup and the animals they have. And I believe in helping the small businesses.
Wild Habitats. So that's not just pets. That's Wild Habitats. It's different. Where's it?
They do a lot of fish in the front room, and they have reptiles in the back room.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna go down there my next day off. Maybe I'll go down Sunday. I'm gonna go down there because that's cool. We're in the same area, so we know the same people. I
was traveling through there from Green Bay to Plover from work, and I decided to go venturing for a few minutes just to see what was there, and I saw it because I had heard of it and checked it out.
Yeah, I like a lot of I love the mom and pop stores better than going to a Petco. Like M Toxins, I can live in M Toxins. I can live there. He won't let me play with all the snakes though.
The greatest store I was
full
ever
disclosure, most of my chameleons that I sell go to Petco.
Really?
What is that now? I missed that.
Yes. I said full disclosure, most of the chameleons that we sell that are wild caught, and this is no secret, they go to Petco, PetSmart, big box chains.
Hey, that's pretty cool though. I mean, you got it going. I mean, that's pretty cool. So like the Bells and they sell a lot to the Petco or PetSmart, or they used to. I don't. Everyone thinks I do. None of my geckos go to Petco or PetSmart. I don't have that contract. To tell you the truth, if I did have that contract, I'd produce a lot more.
We work through the middleman. They're the ones that do all the work with the big boxes because we don't have the clout for that. It's just we're the guys catching them. I'm the guy setting up the deals and stuff like that. So it's make a little money on the side.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's nothing wrong with that. Because everyone thought I used to supply them. I'm like, if I don't produce enough to supply them. 7,000 is nothing. Mac produces Reptiles by Mac produces 50,000 geckos a year, 60,000 geckos a year.
Right.
And I don't even know if anyone knows who Reptiles by Mac is. I bet you people don't know. Mac Snow.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Buddy, that justifies that number I told you earlier about the chameleons that were sold last year.
Yeah, exactly. Shane of Sewerfest is friends with Reptiles friends with Mac. And he said he was there and they pulled 2,000 eggs in one day.
Wow.
I was just like,
full-time job.
Yeah, he goes, when are you going to get that production? I'm like, not going to do that.
No. I mean, for me, chameleons can lay up to 30 eggs at a time, but I'm not waiting 9 months for 2,000 eggs.
No, there's no way. Reptiles by Mac produces a lot. Mac Snow came from them. They did do a lot of it with Tangerine back in the time. Doesn't even tell you anything about the Mac Snow on their website. He won't, because he's not in it for the morphs, really. He's a wholesaler. He produces the wholesale out. To tell you the truth, you make more money. If you're in it for the business, you make more money wholesaling. You produce it, move it. Produce it, move it. No waiting around a year. They take them at 15 grams. Goodbye. See you later.
Yep. They all have size requirements. Just like we don't sell anything that's neonate. Yep. We never will. Basically because you have more of a failure rate at that point.
100%. I have one person that will take them at 8 grams, but he's another leopard gecko producer. He does leopard geckos. And so I'm cool with that. So I send him a 250 here and there. But I never tell anyone who I sell to because then it just starts.
No, me neither.
Yeah. And no, I don't sell to.
Oh, I know. It's yeah.
But yeah,
it's for my business, it's doing it on the side and helping Florida's ecosystem at the same time. it's not a bad thing. A lot of people say, why do you even bother with them? I've had people that are kind of pull the Karen game with me and say, leave the chameleons alone. You don't need to take them out of their homes. And I'm like, they don't belong there.
They don't belong there.
They're not supposed to be there. I said, the world is having troubles with honeybees right now. Okay, so do you want your oranges that you get from the produce department to grow? Well, chameleons are found a lot in orange groves in Florida. So they're eating the bees that pollinate the oranges.
And then
it ends up being more expensive produce. There's always some sort of trickle effect somewhere.
And the pet trade does take a lot of them. And now we know that all them chameleons don't make it, because of pet trade, but it's kind of the devil's advocate, but to say that, but my buddy hatches and sells that weekend. Then and then their problem to get them eating. Yeah, I don't sell anything immediately. Yeah, I don't sell hatchlings to anyone. I won't even, let's say another gecko breed. Let's say Miles wanted a hatch. I'm like, hey, let me hold it back. Not that I don't trust Miles, but I'd want to make sure it's eating and stuff. I don't know if I posted this out there. I hatched a 1.4 or 1.2 gram gecko the other day. It's like half the size of a normal gecko. And she ate. She did eat. So we're going to see if she makes it.
And 95% of people couldn't feed an animal that small reliably. Avant chameleons are smaller than this.
Yeah, so you need fruit flies and pinheads and
right.
Yeah, we thought it was. I think it was Miles. Miles told me it could have been a failed twin because half the egg was hard, like half the egg was like a solid chunk, and I hatched that, and then his clutch mate is hatched out normal size. And then I got that giant egg. I got a giant egg and a regular egg. So I don't know what's going on with that. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Now, the thing is it was squishy. So I didn't know if it was like I just caught it because I don't know. So when I go back there tomorrow, I'm going to check it. If it's squishy, it might be infertile. But it was squishy. It was different. So I'm transparent. But yeah,
it is what it is. People need to understand that there's no perfectness to everything.
I wish there was. There's perfectness. I wouldn't have to work a job. I wouldn't have to work at Verizon.
If I was perfect, I wouldn't get yelled at home all the time.
See, that's another thing. You get yelled at. Totally suck.
You're going to produce a super giant over there, Gary, with that.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as super giant.
It's a 2 foot long leopard gecko.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, at the last show, I had someone basically yell at me that they're super giant. I was like, I don't believe in super giant. I don't believe in giants. And they're like, but there is Ron Tremper. I'm like, I totally get it. But how often do you see Tremper albino? Well, they're everywhere. The giant's the same age to him. Yep. So wouldn't they be everywhere? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't they be everywhere? Especially
you would
if they're
think.
recessive. Especially if they're recessive. They'd be everywhere. By now,
Mm-hmm. They'd be breeding like crazy.
So I don't believe in giants. I'm sorry, Ron. I know you coming back, but I'm sorry, bro. I don't believe in it. Just like white and yellow's dominant, bud. It's not a line bred trait. I teach Ron all the time. So, but all right. If no one's got something else to add, we'll jump off here. It is amazing. It was a good show, but a sad topic. And I promise you, I'm going to be calling. I'm calling them again.
Yeah, we should do an update episode on the calls and stuff later on.
Yeah, if I get recordings, we'll do it. I'll set it up with you, Corey, and Andrew. We'll get together and we'll see what they do. Because if they do answer again, I'm ready to hit record. I'm just going to hit record.
Even if they come out with this written statement that has more information, there's stuff to talk about because this guy's got to have some sort of recourse against them.
100%. I think they should. I think they should be fired and prosecuted. I mean, they trespassed.
To me, that was animal cruelty too, because the animals did not die immediately.
Oh yeah, but Humane Society and all of them aren't going to say anything because they still believe we shouldn't have the animals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another thing. Talking guys, get off Facebook because they're owned by PETA. Go to ReptiPost. Facebook
Yes.
is owned by PETA. I'm just letting you know that. I forget how many shares it is. I actually found the article. PETA owns part of Facebook. So every time you make Facebook money, you're making PETA money to fight against us. So
It's a board of directors controlling share.
yeah. So stop making them money. Come over to ReptiPost and have some fun. It's owned by me. We're rocking it. All right, guys, we're out.